This is PlayerProps.ai. This for winners research. We run it up with every betting tool you know in each perk. Travis tested waters, help you swim even the feet first. Now strategies and all you need to help you PlayerProps.ai. This for winners research. We run it up with every betting tool you know in each perk. Travis tested waters, help you swim even the feet first. Now strategies and all you need to help you eat.
Hey guys, it's me, Travis with PlayerProps.ai. Did you listen to the words that came out of my mouth yesterday? Well, congratulations. You won a lot more money than what you started with. Let's do a quick recap. We introduced the brand new Parlay.online app. There's 22 states that have access to this app. Most of those states do not have legalized sports betting. I'm talking about California, Texas. I mean, those are the two biggest ones, of course, but a lot of these states don't have legal sports betting, like Georgia as well. We found, I searched the entire last 18 plus, actually the last 2 years. What I was looking for was a platform, an app, whether it's a betting app or a fantasy app or whatever it was. I wanted something that had a little bit of everything. So for California and for Texas, for these big states, they don't have any form of legalized betting. So all the players in those states were able to do for the longest time were just player props on, those prop apps. Finally came across something, Parlay.online to be exact, about 45 days ago. And I'm like, what? They figured out a way to legally allow both player props and team stuff. And so on yesterday's show, we did Baltimore. We locked in on the app itself. When we pulled up the Parlay app, there's two different things we locked in, which I'll pull up here in a second. Actually, screw it. Let's just pull it up right now. Why pull it up in a second? I'll pull up. So this is the Parlay app. Let me go to settled here. So what was this? Thursday was yesterday. So yeah, so this is what we did yesterday. Okay, so these are the two things we locked in. So the first one we locked in, we put $50, we turned $150. So if you did the 100% the exact same thing that I did, you turned $50 to $150, which means you made $100 profit. Remember, full access to PlayerProps.ai is $1.97, and yesterday alone I made you $100. So do the math. And this was the slip. We did Baltimore to upset Seattle, which is what our MLB spread rules cheat sheet said to do. And then, even though it wasn't a trifecta, versus the Colorado Rockies, everybody can get strikeouts against them. We did over 4.58 E-Rod. Both of those hit. And then I showed you a trick. So you see right below that where it says DNQ. Does not qualify, did not qualify. So I told you the rule for these multipliers, for the 3x, the 5x, the 10x, the 15x, 30x, 50x, all of that stuff, that the points, which you see right underneath PlayerProps.ai where it says 2.86, that number has to be 3.0 in this contest, which is a 3x. So what we did, and I'll show you here, is we did Baltimore Moneyline, and then we went under home runs of players that, based on how I've been using this app for the last 30, 45 days, we're not getting home runs. And so we did one upset pick for Baltimore Moneyline, and then I just went through a bunch of games and we picked under home runs. Now you see every single one of the under home runs hit, but you see Eli White here at the bottom. The good old Braves decided not to play Eli White, which is why you see his under right here is grayed out. When it's grayed out, which is the same thing as any sports book, any bet slip, they simply just take it out. So you see in the top of the screen where it says 2.86 and then picks 9. So we had 8 under home run props to pair with Baltimore upsetting Seattle. We got all of it right, but because Eli White didn't start, our 10 pick went to a 9 pick, and our 3.05 went down to a 2.86. And the rules are, if it's not the minimum amount of points, it doesn't count, which is where the D and Q comes from. So we would have had another 50. So I already made you $100 profit just from the other pick. You would have made an extra 100. You would have made $200 profit if the gosh dang Braves played Eli White, and of course he didn't hit a ball over the fence, which that wasn't going to happen anyway. So if we picked any other under home run prop except for Eli White, which it seemed to us that he would be playing, this would have been an extra $100 profit for you guys. But so far, so good. We are undefeated on our Parlay plays. Again, if you're in one of those purple states that I pulled up on screen, just go to oneoparlay.online. So you actually type this out. So go to Google Chrome, Safari, whatever you search for things on your phone with, and just type in oneoparlay.online. That's what's going to get you to download their app. And then, of course, what everybody's doing is player props for the promo code, because that's what gives you the $250 free deposit bonus. There's a video that's already out that's not just a play of the day video, but on this channel, which I'll link it in the description and in the comments. I go through all of the ins and outs of what this app offers. So 100% make sure you watch that video. The thumbnail of the video has that purple map on it, and it says like $2,000 into $5,000 because there's actually a contest. There's a thing you can do on this app where you can literally turn just $2 into $5,000. So if you're playing on anything else in these other states that don't have sports betting, that are just props only, first off, they're dumb because they're only player props. And secondly, they don't have a $2 into $5,000 contest like these guys do. So make sure you pay attention to that stuff. Now, some other housekeeping things. I haven't actually mentioned this yet on the shows. We launched this, I think, at like midnight on Wednesday night. So I didn't mention this on Thursday's show because I was so excited about finally announcing that we found something that includes team bets for our states that don't have legalized sports betting. I forgot to mention this. Can you read that right now? Look at your screen. We have just launched a free 7-day long week pass. Your first week is free. Who in the world is calling me right now? I know you didn't see that on screen, luckily, but somebody just called me. Stop calling me when I'm recording my gosh dang shows. So your first week is free. So I will read this out for anybody who has not figured out that when you tilt your phone sideways while watching YouTube videos, you can see a bigger screen. But for those people who still have their phone vertically or just listening to me, let's go through this real quick. So it says your first week is free. Full access for 7 days. It's $25 today for instant access. And then whenever you upgrade to your monthly plan within those 7 days, you got to do it before the 7 days are up, you're going to get the $25 back. So you do $25, you get a free week. Because that $25 that gives you that week access, that actually gets sent back to you. So, for example, today, let's just say right now, you're like, oh, this makes sense, because it should, because it's a free week. And if you don't do a free week, then you actually, like, I don't know. I'm doing so many things that are no-brainers with PlayerProps.ai that if you don't do any of these things, you might be a crazy person, which I can't help you because I'm not a psychiatrist. I can't help crazy people. I can help sane people. But it says, so how it works is you sign up for a week pass for $25. And then within those 7 days, you're like, oh, this makes sense. Now I see why everybody in the world is signing up for PlayerProps.ai and upgrading their account. I'm going to go and now upgrade to the monthly subscription. When you do that, you're going to see in your account, when you upgrade to monthly on the site, you're going to see, oh, I have a $25 credit. So instead of the first month being $59, it's now $25 left because we give it back to you. So we're actually, every single person that signs up for the first week pass, we just give it right back to you guys. So it costs you $0 to go to test it out for a week and then to upgrade to monthly. And how you get access to that is the same way you get access to anything. So you can go to your profile page. So I'll go back to that real quick. So profile page is the top left icon button. So you see this little icon button in the top left of the screen that my mouse is kind of going crazy over. You click on that, and then you click on the word that just says upgrade. You click on upgrade. Mine doesn't say it because this account is already upgraded. But you click on the big old button that says upgrade, and then it'll give you options. It'll say like, hey, do you want to do monthly? Do you want to do annual? Or do you want to try us out for that week pass that I just talked about? So that is something new we dropped as well. Also, you'll see this banner here. This is exactly what I just explained to you guys. I know this map is relatively small. So it says if you live in a purple state, get a free $250 deposit bonus. And then when you click this here to learn more, this will give you a bigger icon of the map. And I'll show you what that does. So you click on this and it goes to this page here on PlayerProps.ai. So it kind of goes through exactly. So you can do 2 into 2,000, 2 into 5,000. It kind of gives you some screenshots of the contest they offer. But here you have a little interactive map that'll show you if your state is good to go or not. And it looks like, I think they actually just added Vermont here. Vermont's up here as well, so that's interesting. Yeah, so that's what that button does. It sends you here, and then all you have to do is click this button at the top to get your $250 deposit bonus. But just make sure that you're using promo code PlayerProps in order to get that $250 match. Now that we've gone through all that stuff, I do want to remind everybody that Wednesday of next week till Wednesday or Tuesday of the week following, that is the vacation that I take every year. Different places, but I always do a vacation before the college football NFL season start. Because if you think that I work every single day right now, which I do, yesterday was very, very busy, but I always work 7 days a week. But what I do is I'm like, all right, football season is so crazy, and I'm doing so many things, creating so much content, updating so many and creating new things in the app, and printing so much, helping the people in the community, the premium members, print so much cash that I simply do something. I go on vacation before all that starts, and then I'm just literally locked in and just pumping out winning apps, winning content, winning discussions, winning cheat sheets in the Discord non-stop for 6 months. So going on vacation from Wednesday to Tuesday, and then it's just game on after that. And then if everybody's paying attention to my shoulder, I mentioned as well on I think Monday show or Tuesday show that I officially, MRI results said that my right shoulder, I have torn my labrum. For those that don't know what a labrum is, it's that suction cup that kind of sucks the shoulder into place. So that is torn. I find out Monday of next week, again, this is before the vacation starts, if surgery is inevitable, if I have to 100% get surgery. If that's the case, you're going to still see content. Nothing's going to change for you guys except for you're going to see me in a sling on this show for quite some time. So I'm kind of psyching myself out for that. I was actually driving yesterday. I think my wife and I saw that new, what's the movie we saw last night? Together with Dave Franco. It's a weird movie. Not sure if I'm in love with it, but I started driving with just my left hand, my left arm, just because I know that I'm going to have to drive when I'm in a sling. So I'm starting to practice with only using one arm while driving. You probably already do that anyway, but that has nothing to do with the show. So let's go ahead and continue on here. We're still on 8:14 here. So we got to update to 8:15. I like just to do a hard refresh. Let's see what we got here for today for Wanna Parlay. So wannaparlay.online. So we just picked it here. Wannaparlay.online. Remember, I mentioned to you guys yesterday when I went over all this stuff, right? What I mentioned was that the reason there's no accuracy here is because the accuracy is dependent on the lines recorded from the source. So when you go to something like DraftKings, we have accuracy because we've collected 23 lines. Oop, let me go back on that guy. I didn't mean to highlight that or click on that. So we have 23 games, which is what the 23 is, of Landon Root, where we have 23 games that he started, 23 games where we've had an AI projection for his strikeouts, and 23 different games of lines from DraftKings. And so because we've had that stored in the system, then we have that accuracy. But because we just recently launched the Wanna Predictor for the wannaparlay.online app, that's why there's no accuracy there. But if you want to get a gist of what the accuracy would be, you can just switch to DraftKings or FanDuel or whatever. But so for Landon Roop's next week, for example, what you're going to see is you're going to see the number 1, and if he gets over, which is what the AI is projecting here, then you'll see 100% 1, and then it'll start kind of calculating that accuracy stuff there. Simple as that. But we are looking at the Wanna Parlay predictor. Let's see if we can stay. So every day this month, we have had a profitable show. No show in the month of August has lost you money. And there's still people on planet Earth that have not upgraded their accounts. And I don't know what the reasoning is. I don't know if they're trying to use the excuse that of, will this work for me? It's a no-brainer. There's no other app or YouTube show for that matter that has gone perfect in terms of profitability 14 out of 14 days. For the first 14 days of the month, Just simply listening to the words out of my mouth on this show has made you more money than what you started with in that day. So we are still on 14 consecutive days of profit. Let's go ahead and make that 15 here. So again, for the Wanna Parlay predictor, the wannaparlay.com, or sorry, wannaparlay.online, it's the same kind of concept as the prop apps where you have to have at least 2 picks. That's just the fantasy legality rules. And one of those 2, at least one in every slip, has to have a player prop. So you can't just do like 3 spreads or 3 money lines. Like, you have to have a player prop there, which is what we did yesterday. We did one, the one that we tripled up on that I made you guys $100 on yesterday was Baltimore Moneyline and E-Rod over K's, because that was the one prop we needed. No over strikeouts trifectas. We have 2 under strikeout trifectas. Perkins versing the most strikeout friendly team in baseball and the 4th most in the last 3. Not a huge fan of that. Hurston Waldrip. I can confidently say I've never heard this guy in my life. I have never heard the name Hurston Waldrip, which is perfect when doing underplays because I don't want to go over on a guy I've never heard of. Now, granted, he only has 1 start, which was last week. In his 1 start, he got to 89 pitch count. He only gave up 1 run against Miami, 6 strikeouts. We're saying he's going to versus Cleveland today. Miami, I believe, is more strikeout friendly. Actually, let's do a comparison here. So we go to trends, we go to team trends. So Miami, oh, actually, no. They're 24 on, so they're what? 6th least. And then in the last 3 games, yeah, I guess they're not really strikeout. So even though I haven't heard of this guy before, where my brain's going is that we don't have enough information on him to make a confident decision. Yes, these are all 100% because he has 1 start and he covered his line. But I just don't... I don't know how elite he is. So I know that we like to see at least 1 game before we do anything, but... maybe, yeah, we need to have more information on him because he may be a stud and we don't know because there's only 1 game and he got 6 strikeouts and only gave up 1 run in that 1 game. I'm going to not touch this one because we don't have enough information on Hurston Waldrip. It's a very... his mom and dad, when they were deciding on a name, they actually looked each other in the eyes with a serious face. They go, what should we call our soon-to-be-born son? And they both looked at each other and go, you know what? Let's call him Hurston. Then again, my name's Travis I got an E in there, so everybody's got unique names. So I don't think we're doing any of the under trifectas, but I don't like Roop. So Roop, actually, let me look at this again. The only reason he's not a trifecta is his line on Wanna, or the odds on Wanna, right? So let me actually look at, see what his odds and line are all the other books. What? Hold on. I already forgot what team he's on. San Francisco, Tampa Bay. Had a brain fart there. San Francisco, Tampa Bay. Okay, so it's 3.5 across the board. And it looks like everybody favors the under. Everybody favors the under. Okay, so that's interesting. So let's go back to him. It looks like, is he coming back from injury? So his last start was almost a month ago. Hold on. Maybe that's why. Oop. Maybe that's why he is favored under, because he's probably on a limited pitch count if he's coming back from injury. And of course, you guys have watched enough of these shows where you know the rule that we never play a player coming back from injury. And that goes for pitchers and hitters. I don't touch hitters coming back from injury either. So what I'm doing here is I'm on my phone right now, which I know you can't see on the screen, is I'm going back and seeing if we can get any information on Roop. Actually, I'm just going to Google it on my phone. Let's see. Landon Roop injury. So his last start was the 22nd. He was placed on the 15-day IL with a right elbow inflammation. It's retroactive. So yeah, this is his first start from injury. So that rules out Mr. Landon Roop. That's why we pay attention to the data that is made available to us, ladies and gentlemen. And that's probably why the sportsbooks are favoring the under, is because even though when he's healthy, he's like 100 here, 100 here, he may be limited because this is his first MLB start since returning from injury. So scratch that guy. Going down to Mr. Joey here. Joey is versing the Atlanta Braves. And we see the Atlanta Braves this season are 7th most in strikeouts, and actually a slightly higher than that over the last 3 games. They are 5th most in the entire league. 4.5 is his line. He had a game where he hit, or a streak where he hit 5 Ks or more in 4 straight. He hooked here, went off for 9 here against Minnesota, and then struggled against the Chicago White Sox, which is alarming because I believe they're pretty high on the strikeout list in his last start last week. Let's do our quick 20% checkaroo. If you don't know what that is, you haven't been listening to me. We like to see over strikeout props where pitchers have a 20% or higher K rate against both righties and lefties. He's got a healthy 29.4 against righties and a very healthy 29.6 against lefties. So this man's almost 30% against both sides. And he's versing one of the higher strikeout teams in MLB. So I don't like BP here because that means BP stands for bullpen. So that means he's essentially becoming a starter by being pulled out of the bullpen. So that's what these are. So these games don't count. 43 pitch count, 14, 42. These are bullpen games. So I'm going to pull up my phone here real quick. So I think what I'm going to look at here. So this is Cleveland Guardians, Atlanta Braves. What I'm going to look at is on my phone for Joey Cantillo. He's a lefty, but I'm curious, when was the first game that he started? Let me see. Was it July 8th against Houston? Yes, July 8th against Houston was a start. Let me go one game before that. July 3rd against Chicago. Was that an official start? It was, but he got limited. So they were kind of easing him in there. So yeah, I just pulled up his game log on my phone real quick to see which ones were official starts or not. So this right here was technically his first, I think one of his first official starts. They were kind of easing him in by only giving him a limited pitch count because he came from the bullpen where he had a limited pitch count. And then, you got more here, 84, 89. So 4 straight games of increased pitch count. And maybe he just had a bad game against Kansas City, but Kansas City's also, they don't strike out. So him getting 4 is still pretty good. Minnesota, 91 pitch count, 82. Okay, so we're only really factoring in all of the games since here. And his last game was kind of but he is 0.03 projection. 0.03 away from being 5.5, which would be a trifecta. So I think we're going to roll the dice on Joey for our wanna play here. Now remember, on wanna parlay, MLB.online. We can do props and team bets. So I think, to stress that point, because our show is going to be focusing on this specific app, which of course you can lock this in on any app if you're not in one of those 22 states, if you're not in a purple state here, if you're in one of the non-purple states or the dark blue ones, there's some app you have available to you that you can put this stuff in. But if you're in a purple one, lock this in on Parlay.online, unless you hate money, which a lot of you are kind of showing you do, by not entering things like a $5,000 giveaway that is being drawn a week from Saturday. Anyway, no tangents today. If you guys don't like money, that's on you. If you want to look like a silly goose in front of the entire world, that's on you. Now let's go and let's try to find something here for team stuff. So let's find the first spread that is not banned. Okay, so we have Tampa Bay plus 1.5, and they are, two people have asked me this in the last week. And if you would have clicked the tap to learn button, it would have already answered it to you. But for the people that ignore me about clicking the tap to learn button to learn how to use the tool they're looking at, let me refresh your memory. If the team here is on the left, they are the away team. If the team here is on the right, they are the home team. That is how it's always been. That's how it always will be. So when you see Tampa Bay plus 1.5, you cannot ask, are they the home team or the away team? They're on the left, so they are the away team. So now we're going to look at the cheat sheet that is available to every human on the planet in the MLB Spread Rules channel. I'm going to pull that up on an alternate screen here. MLB Spread Rules channel. I just pulled up the Discord. So now we're going to pull up the cheat sheet I just dropped, and we're looking for Tampa Bay at away. So Tampa Bay away is not banned, which is step number 1 in the MLB Spread Rules. Are they not banned? Check. That means we can play the 1.5. But what we've been doing to increase the amount of money we're printing exponentially is we're also saying if the money line is not banned on this cheat sheet either, we can then upgrade a plus 1.5 to the money line and get paid a whole heck of a lot more, which has been working wonders for us since we updated those rules. But Tampa Bay away money line, factoring in the spread concept, the whole rule system, that is actually banned. So we only have the plus 1.5 to roll with here and not the money line. So now that we know exactly the two things we're looking at for Wanna Parlay, ladies and gentlemen, guess what we're doing now? We are going to Wanna Parlay so we can lock those things in. Boom, Wanna Parlay. So let's go ahead and lock these puppies in. So we're gonna go to the lobby. Here, where it says 3x, that's what we're looking at. That's the safe plays for the 20-80-20 rule that I've shoved down your guys' throats. Safe stuff. Oh, so yesterday we only had, I think, baseball and basketball. But you see here, they have preseason goodness. Preseason player props, preseason team bets. They got WNBA today. They got MLB. They even have soccer. And not just soccer, they have 5 soccer leagues for today. They have everything you can possibly want. That is why I searched far and wide the depths of the North American space, and I found something that has everything. But for this show, we're focusing only on baseball. So the two things we're looking at Tampa Bay plus 1.5, which they are the latest game of the day. Boom. See how we tap plus 1.5 on the screen? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now remember, if you didn't pay attention to yesterday's show, the number in the bottom right says 1.51. Very, very bottom right of my screen on my phone. Points, 1.51. That number has to get to 3.00 for you to be able to lock in this triple up. Stop emailing me and sending me, oh my gosh. Why when I do a show, everybody trying to call, text, and send me emails? You guys need to chill out. Who's the prop we were looking at? We weren't looking at the same game, were we? No, we were looking at the same, no. Hold on, now I gotta go back. What was Cleveland, that's right. That's what we were looking at, Cleveland. So we go here, Cleveland, we tap, stop sending me emails. Pitching. Strikeouts, outs recorded, runs earned against. We're looking at strikeouts here. Now, again, remember, we are fading Hurston Waldrop because we don't have enough data on him. But we're saying over Joey Cantillo. But look what just happened. So we picked those two, but because those two are essentially favored by just how odds work and the implied chance, you see in the bottom right, it doesn't say 3.0, it says 2.52. Do you remember what I taught you guys yesterday? A little trick here. What I taught you guys yesterday is when you're not at the bare minimum and you're just a little bit away, go to Player Picks. This is the only app on the planet that lets you do under home run props. What I've been doing for the month I've been testing this is I look for an over. So on the overs, the far right, the number above, if it's 10 to like 15, I add that just to kind of boost that number in the bottom and get it to the bare minimum I need to get at. Don't throw these in there if you don't need them, only to boost. The problem with Isaiah is because his over 17, which is outside the 10 to 15 range I look for, when we add his under, it only goes up from 2.52 to 2.57. So that's not even worth it. So 10 to 15 is kind of the range. So Nico, we did him yesterday. Boom. We do the under for that. We're looking for 10 to 15 overs. There's only one in that game. We're going to click save. We're going to go back. We're going to go to the Milwaukee-Cincinnati Reds game now. Same thing. Go to home runs. Looking for somebody for 10 to 15. Gavin Lux, 11. Under. We're at 2.75 now. Hayes is at 10.5. I mean, he does have home run stuff, but I don't think he gets a home run today. 2.92. So we just need one more person to put us at 3.0. I want to actually go back to Isaiah, and I want to see if he gives us the 0.08 that we need now. Where's he at? No. Yeah. If he put us at 3.0, we would have put him in. But his odds are still so crazy favoring the under that it doesn't move the needle at all. So now we went to the Philly and Nationals. We go to home run. Brady House is 10. Bryson Stott is 13. Let me see if there's anybody that's got... I don't think Jacob Young's going to work, no. Okay, so Bryson Stott, under, puts us at... You see in the bottom now, it's green. It says points value is currently eligible for a prize. So we have two plays that we like. We threw in 4 under home run props, which hit if they simply do not hit the ball in between the uprights, the foul poles, over the fence. So we click OK. Then we click Confirm Picks. So here we see what we just did. So we have Joey Cantillo over strikeouts, over 4.5. Then we have Tampa Bay plus 1.5. And then we added Stott under, Kobe Hayes. That's a full name of, jeez. Under, Gavin Lux under, and then Nico Horner under. So if these 4 players do not hit a ball between the foul poles over the fence, they check. And as you saw by, by yesterday, everything we picked yesterday with the 10 to 15 range worked out for us. I swear, if I get one more notification, I know you can turn Do Not Disturb on your phone. I didn't do that, okay? And I don't feel like doing that right now. We're almost done by blocking this in. So this is, one more person sends me an email. I'm gonna unsubscribe and ban you. So we have 5 tickets applied. How does that, 25 tickets applied? 30 tickets applied? How many tickets do we have? Oh, okay, so I haven't had this happen before in the month I've been playing with this. So you remember yesterday how we had that 10-pick parlay where we had Baltimore money line and then a bunch of unders, and then because Eli didn't play, I swear, because Eli didn't play, looks like we got 50 tickets. No, 55 tickets. Yeah, it looks like we got 55 tickets. So the new cost, we don't have to pay anything right now. We can actually turn $110 into $330 because they credit us tickets because they had to D and Q, did not qualify out. So we're actually not taking any out of our bankroll, and we're just using the tickets earned from that crazy scenario. Okay. Everybody wants to email me. They think it's funny. Oh my gosh. So we're using 55 tickets. It cost us $0 out of our bankroll. And if we hit this, we turn $110 in tickets into $330. Create parlay. So this is a $330 winner. Nice. So There it is there, 3.04. I wish I pulled this up. Actually, I think I can pull it up. There's one thing I want to show you. So a lot of us, a lot of you guys, you listen to the words coming out of my mouth. You're in these 22 states, right? You're in the 22 states, and you, I feel like you're taunting me, so I feel like I have to turn Do Not Disturb on now. Okay, screw you guys. We had a lot of people in the Discord. Where do I go to see yesterday? Here's yesterday. Look at this. Look at first place. This is one of our premium members, DOP77. Look at sixth place here where it says Hertz 846. Calling you two guys out. Top 2 of our guys are in the top 8 of the leaderboard out of everybody in the country that did the 3x contest. One of the PlayerProps.ai subs got first place, and one of our guys got sixth place. Now, this is something I did not mention on yesterday's episode, but I did mention in that full "This is how you win a ton of money" video, the 45-minute long one that you 100% need to watch if you're in a purple state. But look, so what DOP did is the minimum entry for this contest, as I told you guys on yesterday's show, was $10. He took $10. He picked 4 things with $10, and because his point value was higher than anybody else that hit, by a lot too. I mean, it's like 4 higher. Instead of him tripling up like the rest of us did from 10 to 30 or 25, or what we did on the show from 50 to 150, he actually turned $10 into $100 because his point value was higher than anybody else's in the country. And this was his very first day playing using PlayerProps.ai, using the Wanna Predictor on moneylines. So instead of him tripling up, this is what Noah, I can't stress this enough. I don't care how much you've played on the apps that you like in those 22 states. This app is doing far more and paying far more than anybody else is. It's the only app you can turn 2 into 5,000, and it's the only app that you can play a triple up contest, and instead of tripling up, he's 10xing his initial wager. He turned $10 to $100 just because he finished with the higher points. So if he finished with the lowest points out of everybody else had higher than him, he's still going to triple up. But because he had the highest points, 10 into 100. So if he bet $100, he'd have $1,000. If he bet $1,000, he would have not $10,000, because I think the first place prize for this contest, actually, I go back on the last 5 seconds. The highest prize for this contest is $100. So I feel like, yeah, it would not continue to 10x. There's a max on the 10x, but if you do the bare minimum $10 entry for this and you get first place, you get $100. We're still all kind of learning some things with the app, but congratulations to our guy DOP for hitting that, and then Hertz as well. So Hertz, because he didn't finish in the top 5, or I think it's actually the top 4, you see here that he only won the bare minimum, which is still turning $10 into $30. So he still tripled up. But if this guy here with the 7.78 and this guy with the 7.78 as well, if these two people did not hit their parlays and he finished in second place, I think he would have won like $50-ish. So he would have won a little boost for finishing in second, just like he won a boost for finishing in first. So it's not just the usual 3x, 5x contest. If you actually have a slip that is higher than everybody else, you get a boosted amount of money. It's pretty crazy. I love this app. Any questions in the Discord, ladies and gentlemen, please let me know. Wannaparlay.online. Only if you're in one of those 22 states. And if you don't know, by looking at this picture here, if you're in one of these purple states, just ask me in the YouTube comments or the Discord chat. There are free channels. Look in the Discord. If you're part of the free Discord, there are now channels that have WP for Wannaparlay.online in front of them. So you have like WP MLB, WP and WNBA, WP college football, WP all the stuff, because they have all the sports on their app, and that's where we use just the Discord to chat about what we like. So make sure if you're in one of these purple states, gosh dang it, do not continue to play on apps that offer you less. The entire goal of you betting on sports in general is to maximize the amount of money you can win before the games ever start. I just proved to you by our guy DOP turning $10 to $100 in a 3x contest, and instead of getting 10x payout. Other apps don't do this. So why are you using other apps? It's the same thing when I've been teaching you about the comparison tools. So like, for example, if we look at like a Moneyline and we look here, like, why in the world would you bet, if you're betting Pittsburgh Moneyline, why in the world would you bet on BetMGM when they pay you plus 165 when the odds, which is why this is highlighted green, are at 175. Actually, it just updated live on screen because this stuff updates all the time. That's the best part about this app. So now the best payout is Caesars Sportsbook plus 175. There is absolutely zero reason to place bets that have inferior payouts on an app like FanDuel or DraftKings if there's another app that is available to you that pays you more money. The goal is to maximize profits when you get things right. If you're locking in, and if you're in one of these fantasy player prop states like Texas and California, and you're locking in these prop plays on an app that doesn't pay you as much as Parlay.online pays you, what are you doing? The goal is to make as much money as possible when you're right. If you're choosing to make the least amount of profit when you get something right, when you get something wrong, it'll eat away at that. Maximize profits. That's why we have a props comparison. That's why we have an odds comparison. Because if you are in a legal betting state that has a lot of these options, it'll just tell you, hey, if you're not an insane crazy person and you actually want the most amount of money and you're betting on Pittsburgh Moneyline in this example, you want to go to Caesars because they pay you more if you're right than anybody else. Actually, they're tied, looks like, with ESPN Bet and Bet Rivers. We highlight these for a reason. This is where your money should go because you get paid the most amount of money. Ladies and gentlemen, Parlay is literally taking over these states. The other books, the other apps do not offer team stuff. They don't offer increased payouts. They don't offer contests. Like I said yesterday, freaking contest where you can turn $2 into an all expense paid trip to week 1. Hold on. Okay. Where's that? No. This is where you turn $2 into $5,000. This is where you turn $2 into an all expense paid trip for 2 to week 1 NFL Monday Night Football in Chicago. Vikings at Chicago. You get suites, not just nosebleeds. You get premium suite tickets. $2 into that. Nobody else is doing that either. Stop right now putting money on things that pay you less and that don't have the team stuff either. I found something that works for these 22 states. There's no longer an excuse to play on things that don't do what this app does for you guys. Good luck this Friday evening. I think that's all evening games. And we'll see you guys on Monday. I think I'll be recording probably after I see my sports surgeon. So on Monday's show, you get to learn if I have to have surgery on my arm or not. It'll be an exciting show. It'll be great. We'll see what my vibe is on the show. But good luck, guys. Let's keep this profit streak going. We have not missed a single day of profit this month. Let's keep that going. Just do what I tell you to do. And if you're listening to everything I say to do, that means you're using the app and you're using it how I've been teaching you to use it for the last 18 months. If you have never downloaded the app and you've watched at least 2 of my shows, you will never be successful in sports betting because you're not doing the bare minimum. The app is free to download. The Discord is free to join. Do the free things or stop betting. Because all you're doing, if you're betting and not doing the free things, is you're paying for the vacations and the yachts of the billion-dollar sports books. They don't need any more of your money, so stop paying them. Stop it. Good luck today.